My hat! Now I'm going to continue on with bag 7, step 1. So drivetrain parts. And we're going to begin with these. So there's something important. You are going to need spacers, so you will need spacers, but on these, one of the things to keep a note on is the orientation. So when you're mounting these, notice this is going to go toward the rear. Oops, as I drop it. Let's see. Here we go. Alright, so it should look like this. The rounded part is going to go that way. But you're going to have 2 spacers here in between. So the easiest thing to do is to just get your screws first, whatever screws that you need, which would be these. Yeah, that's pretty much all you have. And go ahead and apply some thread lock. I'm just going to apply it to all of them here. Alright, there we go. And maybe I should have done this afterwards. But oh well, already did. So I'm going to do that, stick the spacer in there, and then this will go in here. Now you can get the aluminum ones. I have not had an issue with my short course, and they are the same thing. So we'll see. And a spacer as I drop everything. And here we go. So push the screw. What did I just do? Oops. Try this again. It'll be easier this way. Alright, here we go. Oh, I didn't put the other spacer on. Great. Let's try this again. So I'm just going to pull a screw out, put the spacer in. There we go, perfect. And I'm going to hold it. Now once I build it, I'll get it closer to the camera so you can see the orientation. But the main thing is that loop has to go towards the large side. Snug is all you need. Do not over tighten anything. That is good, and that is good. Right, so this loop goes toward the big side, not the small side. The screws go on the small side toward the rear. You need 2 spacers. The other thing too is notice this little crescent here. Camera's not really zooming in. Well, the crescent, these stick down. So these are going to stick down, and this is going to stick out. That is one that is built. And your bearings are the big bearings that are left. I'm going to go ahead and press one in, even though it's on a later step, but that's where they go. I'm sorry, I really need to stop going off memory and just go based on the manual. But they go here. All right, let's go ahead and grab another screw. So we're going to go ahead and do the other one. So again, they go from the small side and they go there. You're going to need a spacer, stick a spacer in there. And we're going to grab this aluminum bit. And again, those little ears point down and this one goes out. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the other screw, stick this one in here, and we'll go here. and the bearings are already there. So that does it for this portion. Now you're going to need these, and this is going to determine the height on how it sits. So this goes this way. This is the bottom. This is the top. So depending on how you put this in here is going to determine your ride height. So if it's toward the top, it's going to sit lower. If you flip it, it's going to sit higher. I'm going to go ahead and put them here so that it sits lower for my application. I'm going to screw that one up. Here we go. And that is almost complete. Now I just need the ball stud, and the ball stud's going to have a spacer as well. Ooh, a little too much. There we go. And I'll go ahead and put the ball stud in here. And I'll install the other one over here. All right, and this section is complete. So here it'll tell you the heights. But we will go to the next page. So the next page, we have to put together the CVDs. CVDs are actually quite simple and straightforward. What we're going to need now is grease. And you're going to need grease for a variety of reasons. One, those little drums, and two, these little pins. Now there's 4 pins, they're all the same size. It doesn't matter which one you grab. But the main thing is to just make sure that you dab everything in a coat of grease. I'm going to put some in here, if I can get some in there. I'm going to stick one of these little drums in there. I'm going to have to rotate that in a bit, just so that I expose the hole. If you do not grease this up, it's going to wear prematurely. So that's something you want to keep in mind. Now I'm going to grease the inside of this. You need baby fingers. That'll be fine. And let's grab some for this one. All right, there we go. So first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that the hole in the drum is visible. Then you're going to place this in here and you're going to drive the pin right through that hole. Now this is going to go into the hub and the bearing's going to hold that pin. So this one's built, and after that you grab the other pin, and this pin goes in here. Then you're going to grab one of these hexes. Hex is going to go in here. Now this is a very important part. Here with these screws, well, first of all, I shouldn't be really touching it with grease in my hands. Oh, that's too much. You're going to use a little bit of thread compound, but the most important thing about these screws is do not over tighten these. These actually break relatively easy, and then they're a pain to get out. So once you feel it snug up, that's it, stop. If this thing doesn't come out, you're golden. That is it. So I'm going to go ahead and build the other one. Everything's already greased up. Again, I'm going to look for that hole. There it is. And I drive the pin, the other one in there, grab the hex, there we go, perfect. Now I need the other tiny little screw. And that is it. So that's pretty much it for that build. So that's pretty straightforward. I don't really look at the manual. I should have, so I could have referenced it. But that's the way the build goes for CVDs. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to install these. Now, if you look at this, the nut goes this way. So these pins, these little pins are going to go back to front, and then the nut's going to go on the other side. Now the nuts are nylon nuts, and they will be, what am I thinking? 5.5 millimeter. So that's all you do. I'm going to set this one on the other side. And at this point, it is not important for you to get this shaft in place. The reason why is this thing will just, it'll fall out. It's not until you have the links that you really have to worry about it. Let's see. All right. So 5.5 nut driver on one side and a 2 millimeter driver on the other side, and you just tighten them. Snug is all you need. Do not over tighten. This needs to move freely, and it does. There we go. So again, we repeat the process. Oh my goodness. I forgot the shims. Don't forget these shims. There's always something. See, that's what happens when you don't look at the instructions. Then again, I didn't have to look at them to realize I did something wrong. It just had too much play. Let's see, what am I going to do? Go with the longer wheelbase or the shorter wheelbase? I guess I could go for something. I'll go with the longer one. So longer wheelbase, just put the 2 in the front, and they are the same thickness. So I'm just going to put both of them in the front. This is somewhat of a pain. There we go. Right, so I'm gonna have to undo the other one really quick and then tighten it up. Won't take that long. That's pretty much it. Then after that comes the turnbuckles, which I'll be honest, turnbuckles are something I strongly dislike doing, but they have to be done. So there's no point in complaining too much about it. I just have to do it. Let's see, I just need to pull this far enough for me to slip these in. Now, depending on the surface, driving conditions, etc., you may be changing your wheelbase. So you could move one of these nylon washers toward the back, or both of them to make it even shorter. I'm going for the longer wheelbase just because I'm expecting I'm going to have more than enough steering. I'm just doing it for stability. All right, that did not take that long. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the turnbuckles. Now I'm gonna do one on camera and the rest I'm gonna do off camera. If you do one, then you know how to do the rest. So for those who are looking at bag 8, you do get a little tiny wrench. Which, to be honest, I rarely use it. I'm gonna use it for this right now just to show you. But I do keep them, well, some of them. And the funny thing is I always forget what they're for until I build another kit. So let me just go ahead and take 2 of these apart. One of the things to note about these turnbuckles, well, first of all, these are conveniently all the same size, is there's going to be a little mark on them. Right there. So put all of those marks on the left-hand side. That is the most important thing. Now, really quick, one of these is a right-hand thread, the other one's a left-hand thread. So the left-hand thread's the one with the mark. The one without the mark, which is this one, will be a right-hand thread. So all you do is just use the wrench, it's this side, and then just thread this, and you can use a driver and just stick it in here, or your Allen wrench if you're building this with an Allen wrench for some reason, and then just keep turning. Now, the one on the other side where the little mark is, that one is going to be a left-handed thread. So this one, you're going to spin to the left to thread on. So notice how I'm spinning left. And this is done on purpose so that you just spin this one way or another and you lengthen the entire link or shorten it. That's the reason why. Now I do recommend that you stick a driver in there after spinning 20 of these. Your fingers are probably going to be sore, unless you're used to it. Right, I'm gonna leave it like this for now. But this is it for the links, and then these would just snap on. So you would just place the link on there, place the link on here, and you would just snap into place. Just for this, let's see, that's the front. I guess I can do the front. Now this is to scale, so you can go ahead and just use the paper instead of measuring, and it works. So I'm gonna drive this all the way. Am I going the wrong way? Oh, I accidentally flipped it. Right, I was going the wrong way. So the little hash mark is on this side. Let me stick the driver in there just to make it faster. Just realized the camera was blurry the entire time, but it's all right. It's back here. So I'm driving it just until I can see one thread there. Now I'm going to do the other one. Now this one's the right-handed thread. So I can see one, and let's see. All right, and these are supposed to be offset just a little, so I will go ahead and just grab this and do that. So one points down, the other one points away. Perfect, so I can go ahead and place this here. So this would go, let's see, is this for my steering? It is. All right, so this one's for my steering. So this one would go here and then there, but I think I did the opposite side. Oh wait, no, hold on. No, this is this link right over here. Let's see, and this is on the left side. So make sure those little hash marks again are on the left side. do have larger pliers here. I don't know why I'm using these. But there we go. And let's see. This is not going to work. This is in the way. Great. Good job, Team Associate. Well, actually, no. Yeah, it worked. And that is it for the turnbuckles. So that would take us all the way to step 3 on page 15. I'm going to do everything else off camera. Again, once you do one link, you do all of them. Again, the important thing is to just remember the little mark. Keep those on the left side so everything's uniform. And then remember the mark is on the left-hand thread. The part without a mark is on the right-hand thread. So I'm going to go ahead and do them off camera, and then I'll catch you in the next one where we're going to start assembling the shocks. Please subscribe if you have not, and thank you for watching.
What? Oh, my hair! My tongue! My rod!